Welcome to AI for Growth, Lessons from Leaders. I'm your host, Megan Driscoll. AI for Growth is a podcast that demystifies AI for business owners. Each episode features conversations with leaders who share their experiences, covering the good, the bad, and the ugly of AI implementation. We aim to help businesses understand how and where AI can effectively scale your operations, focusing on practical insights rather than just hype. Welcome. Chris, thank you so much for joining Lessons from Leaders, AI for Growth. I'm super excited to have you. I really appreciate your taking the time to talk to us a little bit about your company and about how AI is sort of transforming the industry in general. So we'll get started. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit about your company, what you do. Kind of give us the high level overview.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for having me. I was really, really excited whenever I saw your name pop up. I wanted to meet you for quite some time. So, my name's Chris. I'm based in Boston, and I the founder of EO Staff, and we place high performing executive assistants and administrative assistants from the Philippines. We match them up with American business owners that are looking to get the repeatable and scalable and delegatable tasks off of their plate so they can work on growing their business.
Amazing. How long have you been in business for?
This is our 5th year going into it, believe it or not. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. How many staff do you have?
Right now, we actually just went through some staff changes. So we have 7 in the Philippines right now. At the end of the year, we made some changes. I'm a believer in taking the bottom 20% and either coaching them up or coaching them out. And we raised some standards this year, and not everybody's with us anymore, but it's great. Funny when that happens because everybody else on the team tends to step up, it's great to run lean. Yeah.
Yeah. Great strategy. I like it. I'm with you. Okay, so what do you think was the single biggest bottleneck? As you know, this podcast is traditionally for businesses who are growing, and they may be startup businesses, small businesses, medium sized. That's kind of the niche in which we work. So talking about like growth strategy and issues that we have when we're growing. So what do you think was the single biggest operational bottleneck that you faced when you were starting your company?
Yeah. Bootstrapping was something that I've always done. I don't like taking other people's money. I don't like feeling indebted to somebody else. And so a lot of the times that comes with not having the budget to do the things that you want to do and ultimately falling back on your shoulders. For me personally, the biggest bottleneck was who, not how, right? I would try to figure out how to do things on my own instead of hiring somebody else that was, capable and would have gotten me there a lot faster. So that was definitely what tends to happen, or that happened to me in multiple of my companies where I was like, I'll just go ahead and I'll do this, even though I very obviously should have delegated that.
Yeah. Some of it though is I feel from an operational standpoint, I always felt it was really like kind of solid to understand the role that I was asking everyone to do and to do it first. So I think there's some real like value in doing that, even though it is painful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too that I'll say that comes up almost every time I ask that question, we talk about financial support ultimately. Like, where are you getting it? How are you doing it? Where's the money coming from? And so it's interesting that you did it yourself. I also did the same thing and sort of funded my firm when I started it. So there's good and bad to that too. Leveraging other people's money can be good. Just the timing of it, I think, is important. But in your experience, what do you think are the top 2 processes that you think founders sort of try to automate too early, or if there was a consequence to like that rushed automation?
Strategy and sales, 100%. As the founder, even your job is to sell. That's, to grow the company. That's one of the core skill sets that you must have if you're going to grow anything, of substance. And we see too many people trying to outsource that right away, trying to get that to somebody else. And ultimately, no one's going to believe in your vision more than you do. And so, that's something I see founders let go of way too early. The second is strategy. And, and that kind of baffles me when they do that. It's because, again, this is your baby. You're the one driving the car. You're the one that needs to be able to see things coming. And, people trying to hire, any type of director level and above position and then giving them full control over where the company's going, right? That's a recipe for disaster. And we see that so frequently.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree. Particularly on the sales too. And I'm constantly telling people when I'm advising them on business strategy, like it doesn't matter how amazing your business is or the product that you're offering. If nobody is buying it, it doesn't matter, and you are the one that is intimately involved in that because you started the company for a reason. You're on board. You love it. So if you can't talk about that and take on that role and stay in that role, I don't think that. So Pharmalogics, when I started Pharmalogics, I was very young. I was 25 and I built it. We were like 200 employees by the time I ended up selling it. And I don't think I even gave up like the business, the full stop business development role until like maybe 2 years left. Like they were still kind of rolling me in at the end to like for the final sale. But I think it's super important that leaders stay or that owners and founders really like stay in that role for way longer than they would expect. And I totally agree with you about the strategy piece too. Um, so tell me about your company's sales process. How do you get business? How do you go about doing it?
Yeah, so our primary uh, lead generation is through affiliate partnerships and referral networks. And so, what I like to do, and this is a play that I ran in a former business, I reach out to, or my team reaches out to people, franchises with more than 50 locations that are nationwide. And so, it's an easy conversation to be able to have. Here's how we can help you. Here's how we can help your franchisees. Here's how everybody wins. And when presented properly, and they see using us as leverage to help, a lot of their franchisees, they're not making a lot of money, right? They don't have a lot
Mhm.
of, they don't have a lot of capital to go spend on somebody that's qualified here in the States. And so, it's a great fit for them. So our market is, or our model is, to locate those people, reach out to them, set up discovery calls, put them into a nurture process, and then ultimately bring them on as a partner.
Yeah, cool. That's interesting niche, the franchisee. I wouldn't have thought that that would have been a group that would particularly be interested in needing or, executive assistance and support, but
Yeah,
that makes sense to me.
I stumbled on it by accident whenever I was in
Good.
my credit card processing company. And I was like, I used to do everything door to door. And then one day I found a referral partner and I was like, oh, this is okay. You mean I don't have to go knock 50 doors a day now to get business?
Yeah.
And
I
I
mean, it
don't have
makes
to
sense.
spend all the money. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it
exactly.
makes sense. It makes sense. Do you use a CRM? And if so, which one do you use?
Yeah, we're really, really deep into go high level.
Okay.
And that's something,
I
yeah,
use Go
that's
High
been,
Level as well.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I always tell people it can be good or bad because it's really, really big, like Salesforce. And if you really get deep into it, it'll do anything you want, but it's really, really easy to overcomplicate things in there. And then, I always say, what's the best, people ask me, what's the best CRM? And I'll say the one that you use. And,
Yeah.
it's just to keep things simple is definitely the way to remember that as you're using it.
Yeah. And I think that's really important to the piece about um, it will do a lot of different things, but if you really overcomplicate it, it will do nothing well. And so to have just a very simple sales process and to keep it as simple as you possibly can, particularly for what I like about Go High Level for small businesses is it's not too big for small businesses. You could be a single entrepreneur and have that as a tool and it wouldn't be like too big for you, but it can grow with you as well. And I think it's very intuitive. I like Go High Level a lot. I actually recommend that. And most of my clients that I work with, I end up putting them on Go High Level.
Sweet.
Do you use AI for lead generation at all?
Yeah, absolutely.
How
Uh,
do you tell me a little bit about that process?
So this morning, actually, I create an agent and I give them the parameters that I want, and we either run it through Make or N8N or Manus. They're all constantly competing with each other, and so, and even yesterday or 2 days ago, Claude Team came out. Claude with another product. Claude
Mhm.
came out with another product. I think it's called Claude
Claude is my
Team.
favorite.
Okay, all right. Claude's great for creative and copy and things like that, but they just um yeah, so they just came out with something new a couple days ago. I can't wait to dig into it. But yeah, so like we'll set parameters and I'll go have them do my prospecting, my hunting for me. We take the information, we upload it um uh into Go High Level, and then we go, and I watch the appointments jump on the calendar.
Yeah, it's cool. Walk me through because I think one of the things that people that I find when I'm talking to people about AI is that it feels like a black box, like that. Like we say a bunch of words and it's really broad and it's like, well, exactly what do you mean? So can you actually just take what you've just said and like just give us a very specific example of like how you did that? Like step one, step two, step three, step four.
Yeah. Okay. So I think
Break it down.
yeah, to start the so you basically you have 3 different phases of AI, right? You have your chat, which is what most people do, chat GPT. Then you have your automations, and then you have your agents. Agents are the most sophisticated that you build, and they're not really that hard once you kind of figure it out. So what I do we create we have an N8N or a Make account. Make's the easiest one right now. And what I'll do is I'll go into my chat GPT and I'll say, hey, I'm in Make. I want to do X, Y, and Z, and walk me through
Give
how
us
to
an
build.
example. Give us an example of what X, Y, and Z is.
Okay, yeah, okay, thank you. So today, for instance, I was like, all right, I want to locate the chief revenue officer for franchises in the home services industry with more than 50 locations. And I need their LinkedIn profile. I need their email address if you can find it. I need the company profile, and I need what state they're in. And so I took that into ChatGPT and said, I'm going to build this in Make where they're going to search for it. It's going to then populate it into an Excel spreadsheet, and then email it to my VA. And so talking through it, I'm trying to think. So talking through it, um, once you get that set up and you prompt it the way it's supposed to, it'll actually build it for you. And then you just push play and it goes. That's kind of more of an advanced move. But
Hmm.
as the great part about AI is you can ask it to explain stuff to you. So, I'm constant, if I don't know how to do something, it does. You can even with Manus, you can have it take over your screen and do it for you.
Yeah, which
So
is insane.
it's like,
So cool. And this is but this is what business owners are going through. They're going through this like it's too
yeah,
much for them.
yeah,
And I get it because it sometimes feels like too much to me too. I'm like, I can't believe I'm even doing this. This is
yeah.
so cool. So yes, that was really helpful. I think because like I think we talk about it like if people know what we're talking about, but
Mhm.
what my experience that people's understanding is low. Like we are on the precipice of this. People are very unclear. I mean, they understand ChatGPT, but then
Right.
all the steps that you just said after that, they're kind of like
Yeah, the
vastly
automations is
different.
like the next logical thing, and then, like, you really wanna blow your mind, get into agents, and it's
Yeah. Yeah, the
shocking.
agents are
Yeah.
unbelievable. Um, where do you think that that can be improved? Where have you had some trouble with lead gen? Have you had any like has anything happened where you've been like, "Oh, that went off the rail?"
Yeah, if you don't give it the right parameters, and just again, keeping it in a lane, in a box, whatever you wanna call it, giving it the rules, it's because ChatGPT loves to lie, right? They love to lie to you, loves to exaggerate, loves to hallucinate, but I honestly think from there's a saying called the last mile. And AI, I believe, can get you 99% of the way home, but
Mhm.
there's still the last mile before it actually gets closed out where it's just, we're not anywhere near that yet. And so, like, to give you an example, you can set up an agent to run through the entire sales process, the prospecting, the reach out, even chat back and forth or emails back and forth can all be automated. But to sign that deal, to bring them on board, to grow, that it still needs that human interaction at the end most of the time. So sometimes you can have a VSL and that'll do your job for you, but a lot of times, especially if you're talking to like a large enterprise deal or a partner, they still want to talk to you, and AI is just not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Um, what other specific platforms, AI platforms have you used in your business or tried to implement?
We play with almost all of them
Mhm.
whenever they first come out. I still kind of stick with the basics. We're really starting to get into Gemini now
Mhm.
because although it's not where it could be yet, like, I still think OpenAI is ahead of them. I still think
Yep.
Claude is ahead of them, but I
Yeah.
think if you're going to bet on anybody, um, Google is probably a pretty safe bet. And I think as they continue to build this platform out, Gemini is just going to keep getting better and better. They have Notebook LM, which is something
Mhm.
I just started playing with the other day. That will
Yeah.
blow your mind if you get
I
in there.
know.
And yeah, I have a presentation in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to go play with this real quick, and I put it in, and it spit me out an infographic and a pitch and a slide deck
Yeah.
in like 4 minutes, and I was like, this
Yeah.
is way better than anything I could have come up with on my own.
Yeah, it's really cool. I use Gamma a lot too,
Okay.
for that kind of stuff. I like Gamma a lot. Great. Have you used AI for marketing, for like true marketing?
Frameworks of social media of reels, right? From a creative standpoint, helping me develop hooks and things like that. But if you're talking like ads, like actual advertising and
Yeah.
traditional channels, no, we haven't used it
You
there.
haven't done it. Do you do a lot of work in social, or do you like not even bother?
No, that's where all of my business comes from.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And
So
you're using Facebook, Instagram. Are you doing TikTok? Like, what's your scope?
we're everywhere. Tend to it's really weird. I was just talking about this today. So we don't get a ton of I get views on Instagram, but not a ton of business out of that. I
Hmm.
get 0 views on Facebook, but I get a ton of business out of my long form posts. TikTok is
Interesting.
just the Wild West, right? Because they can't DM you anyway, so it doesn't really
Totally.
matter. LinkedIn, we don't spend as much time there as we probably should.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
I
it's
would
I
expect
kind
that
of
would have been your biggest
you
social
know
platform, but no.
LinkedIn scares me, and that's why I haven't done they I never it's I don't know, I never figured out LinkedIn, and so I kinda stay away from it. I that should
Okay.
mean that I need to lean into it even more because I don't understand it, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I use Sales Navigator, which I love, and then I have a agent to scrub all the data off the back end too, which is great. So I think that I mean, my favorite is LinkedIn of
maybe I'll
all of
pay
them.
you to
I
teach
get a
me.
little, yeah, I'm happy to.
Okay.
Little private class. Where have you wanted to implement AI, but you haven't done so? You've struggled to do so. I guess marketing, maybe.
Yeah, the thing that I think would be so cool is if you were to come up with uh like a course type product. And if you could have AI and an agent build it from inception all the way to creatives, all the way to marketing, all the way to checkout, where it's literally you come up with one idea, prompt it, it sets the entire thing up, and then it just runs on. I think that would be so cool for course
It has
creators.
to be
And
out there, right?
yeah. Could you just imagine though being like, "Hey, I want to sell a document or I want to sell a course on this, something and now you don't even have to know. You can just go on YouTube and then take the transcript, plug it in and but just imagine that the revenue that you could generate if you just did that 100 times, 100 times, something's going to pop at some point. And that you just sit back and collect
100%.
mailbox money. That would be so cool.
It would be so cool. I totally agree with you. I
We
think it's
should
got to
do
be out
that.
there. I should look into that
We
actually.
should do that. That's
I have quite a
way big.
few clients who are marketing firms who, it's funny to me how many, I'm always, always, always surprised how many small businesses I talk to whom, especially marketing firms, don't even use a CRM. And they aren't using a lot of AI. They're using some AI, but not enough AI. It's really interesting to me because I would have thought that they would have been like really early adopters to this, but not as much as you would think. I don't know. Um, I feel like AI is it's just an equalizer. Like it is such if you can adopt it early, it is just such an engine that can be used for your benefit in so many different ways. If we can get people to not be scared about it and really embrace it, you know.
We're going to see in the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to see the first self-made single person billionaire
Yeah.
on because of AI.
Yeah.
You can now run. It's proven that depending on what field you're in, you don't need people. If and I really do. I believe that you'll see one person company. One person company is doing billion in revenue plus.
Yeah. It's
That's
so cool.
shocking. Yeah,
Who's it gonna be?
yeah. I don't know.
I don't think it's gonna be me, but
Yeah,
who
I hope
knows?
it is.
Oh, thanks. I hope it is for you too.
Yeah, thank you.
Um, You're welcome. So, what do you think about this? Sort of just gets into the larger topic, just about AI in general. What makes you really nervous about AI? Like, what are you worried about?
Honestly, nothing. I
No.
mean, look, it's people wonder about like the Terminator and things like that. Look, if that's going to happen, it's going to happen, right? And I really think there's people out there that are a lot smarter than me that are that are tasked with keeping guardrails on it in general. And I mean, at some point, yeah, sure. I mean, we've all seen the movies, but honestly, nothing about it to me. I see it as, like you said, only a way, the equalizer as a way to multiply my productivity infinitely, and just being able to embrace it. My whole team, you know, I incentivize them to find ways to replace parts of their jobs so that way we can coach them up into higher level opportunities and build those skill sets out for them. So I
Yeah.
really think that the people that embrace it are just lean into it, right? It's not
Yeah.
going anywhere.
Well, it's hours and hours of time savings. It's sometimes like days and days and days of time saving. It's just
Mhm.
Yeah, it's overwhelming, I think, for people, but I also think once you start using it, you see how easy it is. Like, as an
Mhm.
example with Claude, I had like this is unrelated to business, but I had like an issue with my son, and I kind of like put the whole thing into Claude, and I was like, "Just tell me what I should do." And I was like, I could for the first time, I actually felt like in that back and forth conversation, I could understand why people want to like have a relationship with with Claude because it was like so kind and loving and wonderful and fantastic support and a wonderful like I was like, yeah, I'm totally going to do that. Actually, I'm going to say those exact words. It's exactly what
That's
I'm going to do. And
incredible.
then I did. And it had like the outcome that was predicted happened.
Did you have
So I
like a
was like,
note card where you were like, hold on one second, you gotta do it
oh,
like that?
I practically was like rehearsing it as I was going
Yeah,
in the room. I was
yeah.
like, and when he says this
Oh,
and say that.
yeah, yeah. Hold on.
But it was really funny to see it actually like, and so I think that actually it has an amazing opportunity to help people with like mental health. And, I think that having someone to talk to and, especially in this era of just the mental health challenges we have in the country, I like tell people all the time, I'm like, talk to Claude. You're going to love what Claude says. You're going to feel really good about Claude. Um, what are the things that you get most excited about? Like if you look forward to the future, what are the things that in the future you think AI can do that you're just psyched about?
I'm just really, I mean, I think from a non-business standpoint, just to see like, what how far we can take the human body in terms
Mm,
of like you even see things like peptides right now that are that are coming in, and that's I think that's just scratching the surface. I mean, if you start looking into it, like integrated tech and things like even just Google Glass and got Neuralink, although that scares actually that's the one thing that scares me, Neuralink, right? That scares the
yeah,
hell out of me. But
yeah,
just to be able to see just how fast it's learning so fast and
yeah.
exponentially, trillions of times every single day. And I want to see how far it can take, once we start getting into engineering the human body.
Yeah. I did read somewhere recently that they said that that they think they'll do 100 years of research in the next 10.
I would say at least that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
that means cure for cancer, cure for Alzheimer's, like all these things, that we have on the horizon. Hopefully the cure for the next pandemic, because I really don't want to do that again.
You don't think that they already have it? I'm kind of going off topic here. I don't know if, yeah, if it, you don't think they already have a cure for cancer and
Yeah,
Alzheimer's?
I know. It's a big money. It's a big money, big money.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know, me
There's
too. I mean,
money's in the,
I was in the biopharmaceutical industry, and I would always be like, hmm, that doesn't
yeah.
sound right.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money you're spending. I highly doubt you don't know how to fix
Mhm.
it. Oh my God. So looking ahead, like maybe the next 18 months to 2 years, what do you think scaled success looks like for you, like for your company? And I'll stop there and then you can tell me how you think AI might even further accelerate your business.
For me, my biggest wish list, obviously staffing, we're matchmaking, right? It's a matchmaking service. And what I would love to see, and this is something that we're working towards and we just haven't figured it out, is um, automated, accurate candidate matching that's 90+% accurate within a week.
Hmm.
Probably instant matching, but then obviously you have to go through interview process and stuff like that. But I just think getting science, getting AI more involved in it to be able to predict things based on data that's already out there, that would be so cool and would really help us take it to the next level. That's I think every staffing company, that's the bottleneck, is the talent, because that's your deliverable. And it's when you can find ways to say no faster,
Yeah.
that gets you to the end result that you're looking for.
Yeah, and the talent pool is so unpredictable too. People are so unpredictable, and so yeah, if there's a way that you could kind of weed through it much faster. I
Mhm.
also think that some of the tech that's been used to sort of screen candidates out has been. I don't think it's as good as it should be. I think it screens out the wrong people. I think it screens in the wrong people. So I just think that has
Yeah,
some opportunity for improvement.
for sure.
you know and like you said, I think everybody is looking to hire faster, and if it happens faster, the other thing too about the speed, and I think in recruiting people don't really understand this as much, how important it is. If companies are dragging their feet or you're unable to find candidates, like the slate of candidates that you're continuing to develop is now getting old. And so
Right.
they're getting crusty. And if
Yeah.
things go too long, you've lost your opportunity to go back to all these other people. If you can do this faster, you've got candidate one, two, and three already lined up, all ready to go. And you're basically, as a hiring person, you're going to have a good person. You're going to guarantee to have that position filled with a good person. As long as things take, those two gets cold feet and three has another job. And, so I think speed is super important. We don't talk enough about speed. Everybody thinks about cost, but I think speed is really important in recruiting.
No, absolutely. And 'cause there's nothing worse than finding like an absolute rocket and like the client drags their feet. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, hey, they're ready for the interview now. And they're like, yeah, man, I accepted a job last week. They're like,
Yeah, I'm gone.
oh,
I'm right.
yeah,
I know.
yeah.
And and yeah, exactly. And the client loses ultimately. And
Mhm.
even though you tell the client you're going to lose, it like sometimes doesn't register with them. They think that, that it's plentiful,. But that people are
Right.
not plentiful.
If you
Um,
are great at what you do, you will not be unemployed for long.
no, so true. And absolutely true. And I do think that when I talk to clients, I mean, a lot of people since I've stopped recruiting have been like, "Can you help me? I'm looking for a job." And, they're out of work for so long. And I'm like, and then I get them on the phone and I'm like, this is why you're out of
You
work. Let me
understand
tell
it.
you exactly
Yeah.
what you're doing. This
Ah,
is
now it
exactly
makes sense.
this is very obvious to me, actually, that you're not finding a job. How do you think, well, you think in sales for sure, but is there anything else specifically that you think AI is going to help you like really accelerate your business?
I mean, for me, I'm so revenue driven right now. Obviously improving systems and processes, but the way we operate is not, we keep things so simple.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, I see large companies that have, multiple layers and all kinds of different facets that can definitely help to come in and clean things up. But for me, I'm so focused on, getting to that next revenue, getting to that next revenue milestone that's where all my attention is right now.
Yeah. Super. Um, where can people find you if they want to learn more about your company, if they need executive assistance, like how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, the easiest place for me is on Instagram,
Okay.
and it's at I am Chris Kille. Um, and so if
Chris
you
Kille,
actually,
Kille being Kille.
yeah, Kille. Yep, thank you. And if you DM me the word ultimate, I actually have a guide that I can send over to you that basically, if you've ever been curious about a virtual assistant, this will tell you everything you need to know about it. From
I
all
love
the
that.
way
I want
from,
one.
yeah, okay. DM me ultimate, we'll send it over.
I'll DM you directly. Yeah, please. Great. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining today. This was really like informative and fun. And I feel like we gave people some really good specific things to go play with basically
I
and
agree.
go have some fun with.
I agree. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.